Just finished going through all the scrap I had and cut up strips. These are 11-inch strips, and then I would just go as long as each piece of scrap would allow. Some I even went a little further, but only because of what I'm using them for. The precision isn't the most important. It's just that they need to be 11 because that's the consistency between all of them. That needs to be between all of them. Some of these are, this where it's like this. It's not as great, only because so I will be cutting them on average about 17 inches. Some almost 18 inches, but or mostly 17 and a half. So I'll be going in and then cutting it. So mostly these need to be straight, the sides and the width, of course. What am I? That's a whole lot less scrap than there was before. Yeah. So what am I using it for? All right. So this morning I finished taping all the little seams of the house wrap. What I need to do is do what I've been kind of putting off, is the blocking up here, because at the wall it stops where these boards begin. The wall stops here, big board begins, it goes up. So those are, my big rafters, my double rafters. So it leaves these holes here and here and here and here that go up and into inside. So actually I'm going to I moved my ladders out. Yeah, because I'm kind of doing in order to get it, well, I'll just tell you in a second. You can see some, okay, so these are all holes, all the top of all the top plate, and then a hole, and then the roof deck is up here. I tried 1, 2, and 3, putting in boards and cutting and wedging and canoodling and whatever the term is, to get it as tight as I can, and fit, and then I'll be like foaming the seams, Yeah. So I took that one out. It was tipping over. It was too loose. So what I've decided, and this hopefully will be a better idea, but I probably should have tested it before cutting all the strips. But it's a pretty sound idea. So yeah, so the ones up against the corners will be longer, a bit longer, and then it's like 17 in between these boards, so because they're like I believe 20 inches, a little over 20 inches on center, which would make sense because that would be two 2x4s or two 2x8s in this case, equal 3 inches wide, 3 inches wide, which leaves 17. But I went ahead and measured them, just a few to take samples, and yeah, they are in that range. So anything shorter than that, I've left out of my pile of strips, because there's none that are narrow to like 14 or 15 or something like that. So all right, so the plan is to have my plywood, I'll have to cut each one just because they're microscopically different, because of like separations and other stuff of the, all these, there's just, so I'm going to take the board, slide it up on this surface here, slide it up, bonk, and slide it up against, tight up against the roof deck, or the battens, the purlins, whatever you want to call them, and then nail them here, bonk, 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 and then to go to the next one, measure, cut, slide it up, nail, 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 measure, cut, slide up, nail, nail, nail. This will take a while, and I'm not really looking forward to it. And I've gone through several different scenarios of how to block these out, and in any case, they all require like these little, microscopic, unique adjustments. Also, there's if I can just go up and show you, there are inside of these, you can see that little gap that I cut. This is one of my test pieces. You can see the little gap that needs to be there because of, because of the screws. The screws are not flush, they're, they stick up. If I would have used like nails, in some of the cases I've used nails, but most of them have the screws because they, they hold the Simpson Strong Ties a lot better. So there needs to be allowance for that. And then in other cases, like over here, where like the rafter has twisted a little, or a little this way, so in that case, they are not the same. So on here, I will be nailing this panel up, boom, up against this. It'll go all the way to this. Let's widen that out. So it'll go up across here and down. In some cases, like in the front or the back, and certainly on the sides, there's just like a little bit this way, a little bit this way. So if it comes up and hits this, it's fine. But most of them will hit this. And so that leaves a little gap here, but that doesn't matter because it goes a hole to outside still. And what we're trying to do is close that up. We're trying to close the outside from the inside. So I will be removing those because I'm not going to do those all the way around. But these panels will be here, and then on the inside, I can kind of straddle because I just changed into shorts. I was in pants all morning and because it was cold, and now it's getting hot. Well, the wind feels really nice, but the sun feels hot. So in that case, the board will come up over here, right, on the outside, and it'll come up, and that leaves this little sort of space here. So that's the oh, that's why, because I did these from this side and not the other side. Doesn't matter. So those will be holes, and then I can fill that with either insulation or foam or whatever. I'm considering, because it's up here, and I'll be putting on the radiant barrier stuff, and hopefully that's good, but I don't know that that'll keep it warm. I'm not sure. So I may just give it a year, see how it works, and then the chance, maybe possibility of filling these with spray foam, or the closed cell spray foam. Spray it on, and then slice to make it all even, and then close it up. I'd like to just leave it open. I'd like to leave just the wood. It looks fine to me. So plan is to, seal or whatever on this stuff, and then Yeah, so but I'll have to keep doing what I was doing before, which is taking my little thing and cutting off all these little oh, tips of the nails that come through. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's what all those strips are for, and then I'll cut them up into these segments as I go across, boom, 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 and cover those up. After cutting them, actually I can visually, I threw out all the other, things. I can use this as a, sorry, need both hands. Okay, it's kind of better. All right, so those panels will come up and slide up against that. 11 inches, we'll put it down to about here, which is what I want. I could have done like 10 inches. I have a couple that are 10 inches, but only because, that's all the scrap would allow. And I thought, well, okay, maybe I could use it with 10 inches, but that is more like this rather than coming down this far. And I need enough to nail into. And if it's short like this, I can't nail into that. So yeah, that's the plan. I may glue it up there. We'll see. But most important is to, do this. So I've run the paper all the way up so that I can run it underneath these panels. And then that'll be, the start of the exterior stuff. So having them stick out is actually okay, because I will be running, how do I do this with one hand? I will be running strips across, furring strips, just like these, or battens, if you want to call them that. I like battens, but I don't know. I think Brits call them furring strips. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm not doing roof tile stuff. That's what they use them for also, so in that case, I don't know, they're called something else. I will be running the same pieces, those same pieces across the wall in a couple courses. Boom, boom, boom. 4 or 5, probably 4. And then that will leave a gap that I can put my board and batten on. And then it'll nail up there, it'll nail here, it'll nail there, and nail here. And then that will be each board will be, and batten will be out like that. There'll be a gap, but underneath those, try to do this level. Okay, you want there. Those battens will be sitting on top of my radiant berry. I'm going to put the bubble wrap, the silver bubble wrap here. And then I'll put the strips on top of that. And by doing that, that'll have all sorts of little air bubble, which is good for insulation. And then it'll have the reflective, which is the more important part for the radiant barrier, to keep the heat from bunk, and it'll bounce off. Then I'll have the 2-inch or whatever, 1.5 inch air gap, and then I'll have the boards and battens. So that's the plan. I'm going with it for now because I think it's a good idea. I think it's a solid idea, and then I'll be using the foam to kind of seal up those gaps where I can. Anything that I can, the air will come through, or bugs, anything. I did a little test run. Oh, what a mess. I didn't even use gloves, and I got them all over my hands, and you know what that does? That's no good. It's still kind of peeling off here and there. This stuff is sticky, but when you spray it in, it slowly expands, and it does take a little bit before it expands. It expands a little bit, and then slowly it seals up all the little holes. So it's really cool. But I'm gonna do it. Oh, that's just horrible. At least I picked the back corner, you know, to try it on. This is the stuff here. Good stuff, great stuff, something like that. Great stuff. I've been looking at, you know, like a spray tip thing though that has like kind of a trigger and it's made out of metal, and it seems like it sprays a little better because this stuff went all over the place with this little plastic tip that it comes with. So, but that's the stuff. I'll be using that in all those little holes. And even up here, I got some backing rod too to stuff up in there, but right here, it's just a big gap, you know? Oh, I can do this then. It's a gap. And this is the most egregious one of all of them, but this sticks down a little bit, so you can't see it as much, but from the inside, it's I don't know, like half an inch or something. It's pretty bad. So that'll be filled up with that foam stuff. It's not so different from you know, the closed cell spray foam that you put on all the walls and ceilings and stuff. But I don't know. Chemically, I don't know what the difference is. It just does kind of the same thing. So that's the plan for all the little gaps and stuff. But the primary goal today, cover those holes as much as humanly possible. Yeah, see, these are they're like 10 inches instead of 11, but that should give me a good amount of the way there, all these. If not, then I'll have to buy more wood. So, but for now, I don't want to buy any more wood right now, because well, until I go into town, because the next time I go into town, I'm going to buy probably the boards. Well, I got the battens here. I got tons of them. So battens, and also furring strips. It's the same piece of wood. But then when I go back in, I'm going to get all the boards, and I don't want to have the boards just sitting here baking in the sun and twisting and getting rained on or whatever. So when I go, I'm going to get it, I'm going to bring it back, and I want to have all of this ready to put those boards up, which means I got to put the aluminum foil, you know, bubble wrap stuff on. I got to put the furring strips. I got to get them all the way around, everything done, which means also I got to get all these filled. So, and then from there, yeah, it's just, yeah, nailing all the things up. So otherwise I'll have to go to town and get, you know, supplies, or, you know, if I need more of that, I'll get some, and I'll come back without the boards that I need, because, you know, yeah, I wanted to start them as soon as I get back. So that's the plan. Also, I need to go to the dump because all all the building materials that I can't burn are in here. Yeah. So all of the weird little packagings and stuff like that. So ladders. I don't have a plank, and they're expensive. I think like $200, $300. But there's a plank, aluminum. It goes from one to the other, and they come in different lengths. Some come adjustable, so you can do different lengths with one piece. Let's change that. So what I'm thinking, well, a less expensive way is to just buy wood. Buy nice thick wood, and just run it across there. Probably just two 4x8s would be just perfect, but you know, depends on the width, you know, and if I lay them. But either way, I just want it to be strong enough to hold my weight so I can walk back and forth. I don't have a scaffolding, and this is the only place where a scaffolding would work, is on this side. All the other sides are dirt and, you know, bumpy, and scaffolding is not a good idea on this surface. So yeah, best will be ladders with a plank in between it, and I'd like to get a permanent one, like the aluminum planks. It's weird though, because they only can handle, like, I think it said 250 pounds. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, because, like, how much, you know, do most guys weigh? Especially construction workers. I don't know. I mean, like, that's, anyway, then you wouldn't have any leeway or allowance for, like, tools and supplies to be up there with you. So, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but then the boards will hold it more, so maybe boards, I guess. But yeah, so hopefully then I can, yeah, put a board across, stand there, and just do my boards and battens across, because I move this all the time, and it's got to be easier just with a plank and a makeshift scaffolding, you know, because yeah, I can do some of it, you know, obviously with the tractor and stand in the bucket, but then I need to remove my ladder to climb up into the bucket to do, you know, that. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it with the, you know, plank and stuff. But for the long run, I'd rather have, because I'm gonna build other things. You know, like I'll need a more permanent solution, like a plank that just sits on the rungs and does its thing. I don't want to have to go and buy a piece of wood every time I want to do that. So yeah. Also, I didn't know that Home Depot made house wrap. I just knew it said Everbuilt. And then I got it home and I start unraveling it, and it says Home Depot. I was like, oh, they have their own brand. That's cool. The other one obviously is Tyvek, which I think is made by DuPont. I think it says on there. Anyway, they make the tape that I used. I don't think Everbuilt had tape. I think they had flashing though. I don't know. The other one was flashing, but it was like a tape flashing. But I got different flashing for the windows. I was tempted to do those before these panels. So, because it's all stuff I have to do before doing the exterior boards and battens. I got, what did I get? This stuff. Nashua? I don't know. I've never heard of them, but they have flashing tape. So I got 3. I don't know how many I'll need. So, but as I kind of measured it out, I think I'll probably need 2, but I got 3rd just in case. I could have gone 4th, and then I would have got like a bulk discount. I don't know. I was like, nah, it's okay. I'll just, you know, it's only like $2 each or something. It's good, but I just don't. I don't need 4, you know. So I'll just stick with the 3 and return the 3rd when I, you know, don't use it. But maybe I will. I don't know. There's nothing, you know, crappier than having to wait until you go to town the next time to pick another one up, because you have to stop work on that thing because you didn't get enough. I think that's what I'm working on today.